Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. As always, thank you so much for being here and sharing your time with me. I really appreciate it. Before we start, I usually like to have either my candle burning or some form of scent going when I'm at my desk, but I feel kind of strange burning one of my 10-minute aromas while I'm doing this because I fear that the fumes will go all up in your business. So I'm just gonna settle for this little tea light for now, but just imagine that if I wasn't recording this, I would definitely be lighting this, which is a Hibi 10-minute aroma made in Japan in the scent Osmanthus. I'm not sure. I have only 3 left, which is a shame. It smells so good. It's just very fresh, very clean. Okay, this is such a tangent. But I just thought it would be nice to still have, that kind of like ceremonial thing that most of us do before we spend time at our desks. Okay, let's get into it. So I wanted to share some of my pages that I've either wanted to work on or that I've already completed this week. So I guess I can, before we start with this is kind of a giveaway as to what it is that I want to mainly focus on today, which is media that I've consumed recently or somewhat recently that have just really kind of consumed my brain. And typically how my brain processes these kinds of things is that if I've really loved any form of media a lot, I will really like hone in on it, and I'll watch interviews and I'll read articles. I just get really invested and very interested, because for me it's not just going to the movies and watching a good film. There's so much behind it, the cinematographers, the directors, the actors, the color grading, the typography that each film uses. It's so fascinating to me. Or understanding the previous films that the director has worked on and seeing similarities or differences within them. Very fascinated about that, and I kind of feel the same way when I read something that really resonates with me. I just become a bit obsessed and always need to know more. So I wanted to kind of dedicate this video to that process a little bit. But before we get into that, I just want to show, I guess, a quick flip through of what this week was. It is Sunday, March 16th right now as I talk to you here. This was this week's spread in my weeks plus memo page. I decided to go with the same style of stickers, which are these. Let's see if I can pull them out. Like these stickers here. They're the Cameo Japan ink stickers, and I have a whole bunch of them. So I decided to only use that style this week so that there would be a sense of cohesion, but still allowing, to use stickers that fit each theme. So most notably, again, I went to go see Mickey 17th on Tuesday, which is Cheap Tuesday, big win. And I put my little, my little, I don't know what that's called, stamp there to kind of, it's like immediately noticeable that happened on that day. I've been going to my yoga class, and I put one of the quotes that one of the yoga teachers said, and it was, "May this practice continue to illuminate the parts of your life that need it most." And I tend, again, if my videos don't make this clear, I'm a very deeply sentimental and emotional person, and I do tend to cry almost without fail at the end of all of my yoga classes, even if I've spent the past hour sweating profusely, by the end, I usually think I don't know if I just feel really vulnerable from exhaustion, and they say really kind things or things that I find very grounding, and I end up crying. But I loved what she said there, so I wanted to write it up in the corner, which was lovely. One of my 2025 goals, I don't know if I've said this before, but it's to make time for more, like, it doesn't have to be anything monumental, but just small activities that bring me joy throughout the week, Monday to Friday. I work an office job, like Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 kind of thing. I think sometimes I put too much pressure on my weekends to make them super fun and exciting. And when I don't do that, because whether it's because I'm too tired, or I have to do chores, or I have to, all of the life admin things, and then I end up getting disappointed, and then I have to go back to my work week, and then I just feel like it's a never-ending cycle. But with taking the time to prioritize gentle, fun activities throughout my week, like Monday through Friday, I think it makes the 9 to 5 feel significantly less daunting. And we've been very successful at doing that. For example, on Thursday, so I went to my yoga class, which was lovely, and then afterwards we came home and had a paint night, which is what this little paintbrush sticker is here for, and that was really, really fun. I think we spent like 2 hours painting. And then on Friday we attended the thrift and sip going on, which is very rare for the city that we live in. I feel like everything closes super, super early, so to have the opportunity to shop really anytime after 6 p.m. is quite a win, and to drink alcohol, even more unheard of. So we went, and it was really lovely. There were a lot of things that caught my attention personally, but I exercised self-control and didn't buy anything. But Michael took a photo, and I printed it and added it here, again using my photo corners so I can take it out and put it, I won't do it right now, but I can take it out and put it back in so that you can still read the back, and then the photo doesn't get damaged. We went out for dinner on Friday as well and had a delicious burger. I do not eat meat, so that's obviously, we can all pretend that that's faux bacon. Fakin'. And yeah, a few, again, highlights was the Mickey 17, and then the other highlight is that my best friend and her boyfriend have officially purchased their flights to come visit us in May, because they live on the other side of Canada. So that's so, so exciting. Again, this kind of foreshadows what I want to talk about, which is the fact that I haven't read in weeks because I've been ruined by Ernaux, and that's verbatim what I wrote right here. Songs I've been listening to are There Goes My Baby by Amber Lucide and Need You to Need Me by Sabrina Claudio. And again, what I've been watching, Mickey 17, the highlight, but also love Traitors UK season 1 was so banging, okay? It was so good. I gobbled that up. It was so entertaining. I love myself a cheeky little reality TV, and that was so good. I absolutely loved it. Okay, oh gosh. Okay, moving on to my daily pages, I guess you'd call them. I also tragically realized that I started my March entries, like this is March 2nd, but before I start each month, I do like the, what's it called? Let me find it. Yeah, I do like a page to stamp the month so that on the back I can write the different types of entries. So anyway, I realized that I forgot to do that and did this entry, and also did a March 8th entry without stamping the month. Anyway, so that's a mistake in the book, but gives a character, doesn't it? So that's March officially, I guess. Oh, I also did pick 2 little cherry blossom leaves and press them in my agenda, and then I was able to add them on here, which is really sweet because I feel like cherry blossom season is arguably the most beautiful time of year, but it goes by so quick. So I'm glad to have these permanently. So what I was saying is behind each month's title page, if you will, I do have where I outline what each entry's title, I guess. So March 2nd, book club, March 8th, it explains what each entry kind of outlines. So I had started this one right after going to go see this movie in the theaters. And I Googled some stills from the film and printed them on my Canon Selfie. I normally would print it just on my regular printer, but I'm running low on ink and I've been really putting that purchase off. So I just printed them on the fancy photo paper. I haven't yet gone in to write in here, but perhaps I will do that now that we're on camera. And I do have this sticky note for points to mention that I want to make sure I touch upon here. So that's just like little bullet points for me to remember. I'll go through the other things that I've done so far. And that's just from this week. That's just past today's Sunday. So from Monday to today. Yeah, this is, like I said, the sip and thrift. It's just, I wanted to add a tiny bit more about it. And then this is from our paint night. You can see this was the layout of Michael painting, and then my books are on this side. I think taking photos and adding them here is really wonderful. Even these, like, this is a bit strange to, put on the internet, but I bring this up because I'm really steering clear of, not steering clear, that sounds too harsh, but I'm significantly, over the years, I've significantly reduced my use of social media. Really, the only one I have other than YouTube is Instagram. But for a while now, I've really questioned or wondered my need to post photos on Instagram, like what exactly I'm seeking from that interaction. And I've noticed that I do love taking photos. I have a film camera that I love to use. I love taking photos on my iPhone. But I've noticed that part of it, I don't need to get rid of it. I don't need to stop taking photos just because I'm not posting them on Instagram. But what I've noticed is that need to post them on social media is significantly reduced if I just put those photos into my notebook. It kind of gives me that same sense of immediate gratification, even though no one's giving me the gratification but myself. But I put it in here and it looks so cute, and it's like that dopamine rush, which is, I guess, the same dopamine rush you would get when you post a photo on Instagram and you get a nice comment or you get a like, I guess. So yeah, these photos are kind of funny because my dear friend Parker and I went to a market on Saturday, so yesterday, and it started off, I was making my way over there and it was beautifully sunny, and I sent this photo to Michael bragging that the sun had come out and I was so excited. And then truly not even 20 minutes later, as I was pulling up to the market, it started raining, which I didn't think was going to be a huge deal. I live on Vancouver Island, a very rainy place, but the queue to get into the market was so long. We actually stood in line for over 35 minutes. And by the end of it, we were absolutely soaked. My glasses were foggy and full of raindrops. My hair was soaking wet. You know what? It is what it is. However, we did both buy in celebration of our perseverance. We each bought a pair of earrings, and it's from the brand. You should check her out. She's amazing. The brand is called Maitreya, based here in BC, Canada. She has the most stunning pieces ever. I'm just adding to my collection at this point. And Parker and I, my friend, we agreed that we would let each other borrow the earrings if we ever wanted to wear the other ones, because we both wanted both earrings, but we couldn't justify getting both. Anyway, then I haven't done this bit, but I guess I could do that now as well. So this was from today, and it's titled Sunday Chores. One of the things that I really struggle with is the fact that it's a 5-day work week, and then you have 2 days off on your weekend. And I often feel like I end up spending one of those 2 days off doing chores, errands, whatever maybe, that's like not fun related in any way. It's just kind of things you have to do. So that's why I pasted like the banana wrapping and some produce stickers that are all from either Canada, or, no offense to any people from the US watching this, but buying things from anywhere that is not the USA. Anyway, but yeah, I was kind of feeling a bit overwhelmed about that. But my partner is much more grounded than I am. So he brilliantly, because the sun came out as we came home from grocery shopping, and he was like, you know what, let's go jump in the ocean. It is still quite cold to be jumping in the ocean, and that's not typically something he would do. He's not a huge fan of the cold dips. I am. I love a cold dip. So I was very glad that he suggested it, and we made little, we packed our coffee in a thermos and then went for a dip. And I think it was such an important reminder for myself that not to let these things bog me down as much as they do sometimes, because there's no way around them. I don't make enough money to have anyone run my errands for me. So this is the life we live, and I will have to continue dedicating big chunks of time to cleaning my home and buying groceries and putting groceries away and meal planning and all of those things, but reminding myself that I can still find joy even within those mundane moments. And I give Michael the credit for that, because I definitely start like getting in a bad mood, and I'm not like the best version of myself when that happens. And he's much better at, I don't know, just being better. So we went for a dip, and it was really lovely, and it immediately made me feel like, okay, you know what? Yeah, we had a lot of things to do that were not super exciting, but our dip was very exciting, and now I feel much better. So yeah, I printed that photo. We took that little selfie after we came out of the water, and then yeah, so now that's there. Just so sweet. And I also took a photo of him walking over to the water, which I did specifically because I'm certain that's going to be one of my like personal highlights to go in my March section. So yeah, okay, those were the main, little things that I wanted to point out from this week. But going back to these pages, my media, I don't know if anyone watching this has seen Mickey 17 yet or is wanting to. I would highly suggest that you do. I did also print out some photos relating to Annie Ernaux's book. I have read 5 Annie Ernaux books, I think, at this point. And the first one I read by her, I think, I wasn't overly impressed. Oh no, that sounds too harsh. I think I was just a bit confused because I didn't know her style of writing yet. And I was really kind of confused, I guess, by the fact that she was writing about these very vulnerable topics, but oftentimes she approaches them kind of detached from emotionality. They're just very, point of fact. Like she's like almost like analytical, even though the topics being covered are very emotional. It's really, really interesting. And I've also realized as I've read more of her work, that she's had different translators over the years. I do think her most consistent one now is this one, Alison L. Strayer, and I do like I tend to find this one a bit more fluid to read as opposed to other translations of hers that I've read before. Which is something I do try to be very mindful of when I'm reading translated work, not to be too quick to judge, because I have to acknowledge that I'm not reading it in the language that the author wrote it in. So there's, more elements at play. It's not just me not necessarily jiving with someone's work, but it's me potentially not jiving with the translator's approach. So that's definitely something that I try to consider. I printed this photo of her because I think it's so stunning. Like this hand on the staircase, very Beauty and the Beast with the books in the back, the scarf, stunning. And then I wanted to do a photo of the cover, but also have the original photo, that was used for the book. This video might be a bit scattered, but that's okay. I also, aesthetically speaking, I don't want this here. I feel like that doesn't go together. So I think I'm gonna leave one page here because I'll obviously have more things to say before the end of March, and then maybe have these pages for my girl Annie. I think that's what I'll do. Oh, just so stunning. I perhaps don't need 2 pages. Well, who's to say? I'll do this. When I read too, I sometimes, if I don't want to annotate the book directly, I'll sometimes have a bookmark where I can write some of the most pressing quotes. So maybe I will keep that here instead of keeping it inside the book. Yeah, this book has just really, I don't want to be dramatic, but kind of, it did change my life. No, but in a more serious, way, I just think sometimes an author finds a way to say something that you either didn't know that other people felt to the degree that you feel them, or you hadn't yet found the words to describe the things. Yeah, like this one specifically, it almost at this point feels quite haunting for me. And it says, how are we present in the existences of others, their memories, their ways of being, even their acts? There is a staggering imbalance between the influence those 2 nights with that man have had upon my life and the nothingness of my presence in his. I do not envy him. I am the one who is writing. I mean, that is the most sick and twisted quote I have ever read in my life. I recently talked about this with my book club friends, and that whole idea is something that really freaks me out because I think about it a lot. Again, with being such a sentimental and emotional person, I do feel like I can love very hard, not like even just romantically, but platonically. And so I think that quote resonates with me platonically and romantically, because I often think that how much someone means to me or how much I think of someone is not the same as how much they think of me or how much they care for me. And I don't know, I think it can quickly become kind of like a tormenting thought. So to hear, such a revered author and talented writer express those same thoughts and feelings is kind of I know I feel like most things that anyone experiences, other people have experienced them as well. There's, you know, so many humans on this planet, but I think it's just strange to like that out of the thousands, the hundreds of thousands of books that exist in the universe, I chose this one, and within this one was a topic and a thought and an emotion, whatever, that is so relevant to me and the things that I struggle with. Anyway, there's so many other themes in this novel that just truly freaked the heck out of me. But that's the main quote I want to maybe pull from that. Okay, moving forward, I think I like how this looks here. So let's mark the spots with a pencil, just because I have to tape this one down first. Yeah, so I guess what I was saying earlier too is that the reason why I haven't read in a few weeks is because I read this book a few weeks ago, and I just can't, and this happens to me a lot, like when I read a book that I really love, I find it quite hard to pick the next thing. The pressure is feels insurmountable, or I just still am, if there is things within a book that I'm still kind of ruminating on, it feels kind of like a disservice to immediately go into the next book, because I feel like there's still things that I'm trying to get out of the previous book, and therefore, one, I need to, you know, let my brain process that however it needs to, and then it also almost feels like a disservice to the next book if I'm still only thinking about the previous one. I don't know if anyone thinks this deeply into what they're reading, but it's just how my brain works. And I worked in a bookstore for a few years, and I think now that I don't work at a bookstore anymore, my relationship to books is very different, and I want to consume literature more slowly and more mindfully. And I'm less influenced now by what I'm reading, because I'm not surrounded by, you know, the bestsellers of the bookstore or what other people are coming in and buying. Now I can make those decisions solely based on what I want to read, which is really wonderful. But sometimes I do realize, I'm like, okay, you just need to accept that you read a book that you loved or that really resonated with you, but you can keep reading, you know? This can't be the last book I ever read, which at this point in time, it's starting to feel that way. I think I may retire. No, I'm kidding. My reading after this. But she deserves her own spread, because what a queen. And I think we need some green colors, a gray, and a black. I've been really exclusively writing with my fountain pens lately, but I also own, you know, gel pens and whatnot that still deserve some love, so I'm kind of reminding myself to also use these tools. So let's see if I can do that now. There's this other quote that I think I want to, you know, make really noticeable on this page. And that is, but what is the point of writing if not to unearth things? Oh man. Sometimes I think going back on these things ends up doing me more harm than good. No, I'm kidding. I'm being dramatic. Okay, let's put this closer so that we can write in a straight line. However, should I use my stamps? Because I have this new well, not new, but newer green color. That could, or will that be too light? That might be too light. Or I think this one's a dark green. Oh man, we're gonna be here for a while, friends. I thought this video was gonna be short. Let's try this out first. There's that A. Okay, I think I already know it's gonna be the dark one. Can you see that? I have this transfer sticker that I've been waiting to use. It has a lot of French, mentions of France or memos that are in French that are very applicable to this moment. I was eyeing this one specifically to fill in this gap here. Oh yeah. Stunning. This is also a very zoomed in map, but this is Belgique, which is Belgium, and Allemagne, which is Germany. So this little bit has got to be France. And if I am not mistaken, Annie is from Rouen. My French. Yeah, I think she mentions Rouen, Rouen, quite often. And you can see it right here mentioned. So this simply has got to go on this spread. However, now I'm a bit concerned that where I should have done this first, because where I place the image of her looking like Belle from Beauty and the Beast, it's gonna eat away at that. So I'm trying to think if there's a gentle way. Ooh. I could also just cut it here. Yay! That looks stunning. We'll put this one down here. The satisfaction I feel in this moment is insane. Okay, we're gonna go back to this page and write in here first. I have finished this spread. I included the quote, but what is the point of writing if not to unearth things? I did a little, reflection on how I've been feeling about my deep attachment to this book. And then I did write here at the bottom, I see some of myself in her and it is freeing. Which is, an adequate amount of cheesiness for me. Expected amount of cheesiness. And then I think I'll tape this here and just leave it, so it can flap and do its thing. But this is what it will look like in the end. And then I did finish, as you saw, my entry for Mickey 17. And I'm really pleased with how these media entries turned out. I think when I look back on them, I really, even though sometimes I think I wish I want to have a separate book for these things, I do find it quite valuable to know exactly at what point in my life these things came into my life. I do find that quite valuable. So I think I like them existing in here as well. That's gonna be it for this video. As always, thank you so much for being here and sharing your time with me. I really appreciate it. And I will see you when I see you. Bye. Mwah. Maybe let's blow this out.